Hi, good morning, Tim from Scott Country International. What I'm doing today is running the HikMicro SX60L Stellar 3.0 side by side with the SQ50L from HikMicro, the Stellar 3.0. Now, I'm on the reverse side of my range, so I'll pan the camera around in a minute and I'll show you some various targets we're going to look at. I've done a factory restore on both scopes, so both scopes are back to basics, back to all the factory settings how they come out of the box, and I'll put them side by side and I'll just use one of the lasers on one of the devices to ping the distances, and we'll have a look at some various things at various different zoom rates and base magnifications and so on and so forth, and we'll just see what the various distances are. So I'll just pan you around and show you what we're going to be looking at. So obviously see my arse in the distance over there, that's where I normally shoot from, just on that field coming up the way towards us. And obviously you got the cows there, you got a farm and some various distances there down to the cows, roughly about 460, something like that. So we'll get that on and we'll get cracking with that. What we'll cover on some of the specs now, obviously you've got the SX60L on the side here. This is a 1280 by 1024 sub 18 net D. So 2.6 base magnification to times 26, boasting a 3,100 meter detection range. On the right hand side here you've got the SQ50, which is 64512 sub 15 net D with a base magnification of 3.6 up to times 28, boasting a 2,600 meter detection range. So what we'll do is we'll get these both on here and we'll set them going on record to fire them both up. And I've got these set up on some sophisticated apparatus with literally a bit of a 2x3 there with a couple of Picatinny rails drilled on, and got them both on. So looking down to the bottom, we'll just hit record on both scopes now. So we'll laze down to the house. (813 yards). And what you'll see there is, I'll zoom in with the SX up to 10.5, give that a little focus. Just to see the difference in clarities there. If we step that into max zoom, you can see there. So quick little test on that one. Stop recording there, stop recording on there, and we'll ping around something else. Obviously the cows are just coming out now, so they've just been milked, they're coming out, and we'll give them a quick laze. 6:39. So we'll just do the SX first because we're getting a bit of an alignment issue. Zoom in there at times 12. Get them focused in there. So you can see that's nice, crisp and clear still, even on times 12. And you can see there in the SQ50, you're starting to get a bit of pixelization at sort of 600 yards there. Obviously, that is expected with this device. Obviously, what you're going to achieve more at longer range is less pixelization on a 1280 sensor. Obviously, 60mm focal length, giving you masses of capability for focus and range, obviously versus a 50. But what I'm trying to achieve here is it worth paying the extra money for the higher rate sensor and the bigger scope? Obviously you can see them side by side next to each other, and they're identical in looks, less for the lens at the front. Now, if you're a professional stalker or controller, things like that, I've seen foxes out at 600 yards there, and on max zoom, still more than capable of being able to take a shot with easy identification, sort of 600 yards plus with this. So would I pay the extra for the average hobby shooter? Probably not. If your budget can stretch to it, then yeah, why not? But what you do get with that, obviously, these are Britannia high mounts. I was getting literally probably 50mm clearance on some of my rifles and maybe 20mm on some of the other rifles. Even before I'd taken a shot, I was getting glow off the moderator. Again, the bigger lens is going to give you that, so unless you're putting some extra high mounts on or it's right up there, you're going to get that. So maybe something to think about on the SX model. Not going to get that so much on the 50, being a 50mm focal length. You're not going to get that glow so much. You're going to be able to get it a bit higher away from the barrel and get the clearance. So what we'll just pan round to now is the side of the farm. Right, and we're now, that's 9:08 up to the edge of the farm building. So I'll hit record on the SX and then we'll do the zoom test on that. So going in through the mags, 5.5, 10.5 to 17.5, right up to times 28 there. See if we can focus it in a little bit better. That's about as good as we're going to get. So you can clearly still see there all the doors. You can see the fence posts on the gate there. Still see the doors. You still see detail on the grain hopper. But even if we come back out ever so slightly there, you're going to increase the detail on times 18. Edges are all still crisp and clear. More than ample to take a shot. And we'll flick over to the SX. Sorry, the SQ. Run on base mag there. Up to 8.6. .6. Still see the doors, you can see the fence posts clearly. Up to 20.6. And then 26.6 max zoom. You still see the gates at the end of the parlour there. You can still see the hopper. Still see the fence posts, but again, you've lost a lot of clarity compared to the SX model, just being that higher sensor rate. So we'll just back out of that one. What we will do is we'll do something, we'll pan around this way ever so slightly. We'll just get a little closer. Alright, so there's a little tree line down there, just at 222 yards. Let record on the SX. So them trees there, 230 yards. Absolutely amazing detail there on base mag. Clicking it in, you still see the wire on the fence post. 7.5, 8.5, still see the wire on the fence post. Focusing it back in a little. And at 28.5 there, max zoom, still see the wire on the fence post, still see all the branches nice and clear. Again, nice and ample to take a shot. Now flicking over to the XQ, sorry. Same tree, base mag 3.6, you can see the fence post, everything nice and clear. Zooming in ever so slightly, still see the fence post and the wire nice and clear. Still see everything nice and clear. We get that focused in ever so slightly. That's it. There. So at the closer ranges, sort of 200, 100 yards, there's not a massive, in my opinion, there's not a massive advantage having the bigger sensor as opposed to a 645 1.2. It's 500 plus is when this comes into its own, and obviously you'll see from the footage there that you're not getting pixelization, you're getting a lot bigger clarity. I'm starting to get a bit warm now. You're getting a lot better clarity on all the zoom range and everything like that. So again, if you want to be that long range shooter, the 1280 sensor would be the better one for you. If the close range shooter, looking sort of, if your max permissions are sort of 300, 400 yards, the SQ would be more than ample for you. Yeah, and that's it. So I'll obviously piece together some other footage as well of sort of some 80 yard to 100 yard rabbits with the SX as well that we can put in there. But in conclusion there, as I said, the longer range shooter would benefit more from the SX model, and just looking, you can see why. Lot bigger lens compared to the 50. You're getting a lot more performance out of that lens size than you are that one. Now obviously, sort of over the 300, 400, 500 yards, you're not getting as much pixelization with the SX. So that's where the 1280 sensor comes into it. Some of the pros and cons again, obviously the SQ is shutterless technology, it's sub 15 net D. The SX is still shuttered for calibration, and it's sub 18 net D. I can't tell the difference between a couple of millikelvins between it myself, but there's obviously people out there that can tell that. But in terms of body shape performance, obviously the SX is a little bit bigger, as you'd expect. It's a lot broader on the front. It's a lot longer on the bell housing. In terms of the body, from the turret backwards, it's all exactly the same. Both are clickless on their menu control functions. Everything other than that, exactly the same. So I hope this has helped a few people make the decision whether to put the extra pounds in to get the extra performance. Obviously there's people out there that will just buy it because they want to buy it, but if you need to be out on a budget, I think the SQ would be the best one, the best all-rounder in terms of performance, and range for distance, sort of 300 yards. Most people don't have big open ground like where I am here, so this would benefit me. Your average person for normal permission, sort of 300-400 yards. The SX, save yourself some pennies, still get a great performing scope. Both have the ballistic calculator built in, everything like that. I've tested these, they work. Menu structure is very similar to the Alpex. What you do get, you get a lot more. There's a lot more icons in the SX. So obviously with the thermal compared to the Alpex. I've done a video already on the icons, but you get the recognition mode, you get your sharpness, you can change your color palettes. You can have that red monochrome and the green monochrome that everyone seems to be going crazy about. They're all both on there. Yeah, so all in all, if you're going for a big distance, go with the SX. If you're a short ranger and still want maximum performance, go with the SQ.
guys, Joe here, Scott Country International. So just thought I'd talk to you today about the importance of health and safety and some of the things that some of us very easily forget when we're out in the field, and that is protection of yourself, obviously. Most important thing when you're out there, when you're hunting, when you're out in the field doing whatever it is you're doing, that you're protected yourself. There's lots of little critters and bits and bobs that you know are out there that can cause long-term harm. That's including ticks, obviously, Lyme's disease. I myself actually have been bitten by 2 ticks in the last 3 weeks, prior to having this clothing, obviously. One of them I had to go to the doctor for, which wasn't very pleasant, to get the head out, and the other one I managed to get out myself. But there's obviously always the concern there of Lyme's going forward in the future. Funnily enough, Jeff said to me last night that he'd been to the doctor, my main hunting partner, and wasn't feeling particularly well. And funnily enough, the doctor said there's a possibility you've got Lyme's disease. So Jeff's had blood tests, sent them off for sampling. So it just goes to show very much so that it's very important to protect yourself when you're out in the field. Scott Country obviously know that. We're out in the field as pro staff members, and when we're hunting recreationally and for management purposes as well. So yeah, really good to have this combination of clothing really. This is the Rovince anti-tick line of clothing. You can see it on www.scottcountry.co.uk. This is the fleece and the trousers. They do a soft shell, they do another jacket as well, various other different sort of types of stuff. It's got an anti-tick substance in it, which if protected correctly can be usable for up to 100 washes. So, and they're very reasonably priced as well compared to some of the hunting brands that are out there and all the rest of it. So if you want to get yourself something that's going to protect you whilst you're out in the field, and something that's comfortable to wear, looks good, you know, Rovince have done a really good job here in this situation. So yeah, get yourself on over www.scottcountry.co.uk, take a look at the Rovince anti-tick range of clothing and get some on order. All the best, cheers.
Well, that concludes this week's episode of the Night Vision Show. So if you want to see more of them products, the SX60 and the SQ50, keep your eyes peeled on the Night Vision Show. We'll be bringing you some more footage. And if you want to get your hands on them, come down and see them at our demo evening on the 8th of November, 6 till 9:30 at Straven Golf Club up in Ayrshire. We'll have all the products out there for you to have a look at, even the new Habrocks as well. So if you like this sort of content, please like, share and subscribe, and hit the notification bell down below to get notified when we release all our latest videos. And tune in next week to see Joe out in the field with his brand new HX60 Habrock Pros, and he'll be gathering you some footage and doing you a full review on that. Stay tuned, see you then. Cheers.